Hey everybody, this is Alzorath, and welcome to TheLastSpire. The goal? Survive 5 minutes. As you can tell by the length of the video at the very bottom of the screen, this is gonna take a bit longer than 5 minutes. This is an incremental tower defense. Basically, you have one tower, you're trying to upgrade it, and you're trying to defend against the slimes! Let's go ahead and close that. We have no money, and we have no stats so far. We'll get other stuff pretty soon. But for the first part, we just do some damage wherever our mouse is. That'll get us our initial little investment of money, which, I mean, it's gonna do a little bit, hopefully. We'll get 15 gold out of that. Yeah, we unfortunately need it. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna go for fire rate first, because we have enough for it, just to get us a little bit more a lasting time. Obviously, fire rate that feels like it's almost doubling our damage because of how fast it's going. Now, our radius on that is absolute ass, but if we can get it there, we'll get it there fairly quickly. Now, I'm going to go for more damage. We didn't get less money that time. We just don't have the other thing yet. And we do have to do a number of runs to unlock various things. There are other upgrades up here. Yes, I've watched somebody else play a little bit of this. I was like, oh, that's right up my alley of just like the bubble wrap of video games. I don't know why I am fascinated with that right now, but my brain just is seeking catharsis, if that makes sense. So we're making it to 15. We're making it longer each time, which is always a plus. I'm going to go with more fire rate. Sorry for the coughing directly into the microphone. My brain it does not always want to breathe properly, I guess. Okay, so we're going to take damage as soon as they get close. As soon as it gets red, they are going to be able to cause problems for us. But 4 runs, we have unlocked Seeker, which is, that looks like, yeah, it's just an auto cannon. I think we will go ahead. We'll spend our upgrades on that. Get ourselves a little bit of shooty bits. Oh, they're purple. Lovely. But yeah, I don't know too far into it. I just know that the goal is to get to 5 minutes, which should be relatively simple for us. I think what I want to do is just soften them up for the Seeker to actually just finish them off. That way we don't have to worry about them getting too close. And if the Seeker finishes them off, we're just not going to take any damage from them anyway. And we can already be on to the next one. So I'm not wasting Seeker shots into something that's just going to tank it all. And I'm not wasting Seeker shots into... Oh, wow, that was 100 and some odd new Lars. So we could go bigger area on our mouse. We could go faster shots on this. I think we do just go blip blip and just focus in on that. We don't have enough there. So let's see how much faster that is. Yeah, I don't have to worry about too many guys. Now, the reason I do find these kind of runs, the kind of games just enjoyable, is because while you do have to think a little bit about what you want to invest in, it's not going to be an awful lot of Twitch gameplay. I stream on Twitch, but no, it's not going to be a lot of like Twitchy gameplay where I have to be super precise and super fast, because sometimes my brain just does not want to do that. My brain do not want to brain at time, and I can English good, but yeah. Oh, and I probably should have killed that guy. I thought the tower would have shot him, but no. Let's go for a little bit more area and damage on our own attack. Do we have enough to do that? 180? Not really. But the goal is kind of like the goal on creating more edited content on YouTube. This is not edited content. This is literally just, hey, I'm trying this game. It might be a first impression on the main channel. We don't know. Kind of stuff. But for heavily edited content... Oh, we defeated 100 enemies, so we get multi-shot now. But yeah... My brain just completely farted there. But generally speaking, whenever you're doing stuff like that, that requires a lot of mental labor, basically. So you end up in a situation where sometimes you just don't want a lot of mental labor, and this is that level of catharsis for me. Obviously, you know, going in and beating a really fun strategy game or something with cool mechanics like Expedition 33 is cathartic in its own way, but that requires more mental work. Oh, we have passives now. Could do thorns. I kind of want these because these will accelerate us quite a bit. So I think since we got 270 on that run, we want to save probably about 150 roughly, so we can kind of deal with the flexibility there. So don't want to overspend on that. Let's go ahead and grab those. That should be good. You know what? We'll go ahead and grab a projectiles as well. Just upgrading our automated stuff, because while the manual shot is nice, it does require, you know, actually watching the screen. Now, as far as where to get this, I'm sorry, for some reason, air is fighting me today. But as far as where to get this, it's just going to be on itch. It is not available on Steam that I am aware of. And it's a name your own price game. It's obviously relatively short. And you know what? The game is a lot quieter. Oh, I just realized why. I will have to adjust that in post, but make it so you can actually hear the audio. That probably helps a little bit. I'll try to remember to cut there, and it'll actually show up on my audio slider things whenever that happens. But we did not get enough for it, so we're just going to sit on that. We might even get just the better one that was above it. That was, I think, 500? For just extra money? Because extra money is going to accelerate this quite a bit. So we don't have to worry about doing all the other nonsense of... Okay, so we have enough for the weaker one. I don't know what... Oh, that just shuts off the audio. Whatever. I don't care about doing that. I did not realize that we actually had a button for it on screen for the actual run, which is kind of an odd one, but I do notice that there is not an option screen on here. I probably would have just put a gear down there that pauses this. That way you could access that. But no. Can we get 500? No, we didn't quite. Because I am Dumas. So we'll go ahead and just get this passive. Extra coins per defeated enemy. It's not going to be great, but it's going to be a little bit. We'll get thorns while we're here. As far as what else we can upgrade, absolutely nothing. These aren't going to increase our longevity. They're going to increase our ability to make the money. And the chance to get extra gold does not seem to be terribly high. We haven't gotten it yet. At least not that I've noticed. And yes, pretty much all of the shots will just go towards the closest enemy. Which can be good, can be bad. That's one reason why a lot of tower defenses actually give you a prioritization option. As for there was some extra gold. So that is lucrative whenever it actually procs. But that is actually one of the reasons why a lot of tower defenses and stuff like that give you priority, because you don't necessarily always want it shooting at the closest. You want it shooting at the optimal target. In some cases, that's the very last enemy on the track towards your face. And I think next up is going to be HP. Ooh, and we get another unlock. What do we get? Bouncer. Okay. I mean, we will take more bullets. Okay, so it's that thing. Apparently they just bounce around. Kind of. I don't hate that. Especially if we can get more balls. Because you always want more balls on the screen. Probably shouldn't make that reference, but... But yeah, if you could get a lot of them on screen, they'll basically be a screening net for enemies. Which is kind of like having a large AoE damage tower. Like in Rogue Tower, there's the vampire towers. In a lot of normal tower defenses, it's usually like a shotgun tower or a frost tower that does a burst in a specific zone, or a shock tower that jumps from... Well, this would not be a shock tower. This doesn't jump from enemy to enemy. We are about to die at 300, which is fine. That's an investment for us. Oh, and we reached the 1 minute one. We got swords now. Swords are attack enemies close to your tower, and this one bounces around. Now, we don't have a large number of these that we can spawn at once, but it looks like duration plus fire rate might get us there. which would not be terrible. The question is, what do we actually want to invest in out of these? Looks like we got some options. Total of 6 minutes and 9 seconds, or 30 minutes to unlock. What? Oh, that's how long out of the 30 minutes we played. Okay, we played 6 minutes. That's fine. We need 2,000 coins to unlock that one. Don't know what it is. Reach 2 minutes to unlock the green things. And we need to defeat 2,000 enemies to get, I'm guessing that's going to be some kind of like shield or something. Judging by that there shape. Okay, so let's go and get some more damage for Seeker, and we will do duration and damage on those. I want all of these to be up to max fairly quickly, but we'll see how it does. Because fire rate's going to get more balls. Duration's going to keep the balls around longer. And then damage is just going to make them useful. Speed is going to make them travel more of the screen, so they're more likely to just hit the trash. Which should be fine for us. We're actually making it through the first few waves of these guys relatively easily. Now, as far as the aesthetic of these guys, they actually remind me of another game we played, but on the Game Sampler channel, oddly enough. And for those of you wondering, no, I'm not actively doing any more Game Sampler stuff just because I have a feeling that with the current state of things on the content creation end of things, it's going to be a net negative, and I don't think I want to contribute to that. Even though it is useful to people for a few reasons. There's actually a few types of videos that I would want to do that would be using footage from it. It doesn't seem like it's going to be beneficial in the grand scheme of things. Enough for me to not just put my own footage in kind of like a unlisted state instead of making it publicly available. Because that kind of footage is good for like top 10s, recommended indie titles, kind of stuff like that, where it's kind of hard for one person to record all the footage and actually have it still archived. If that makes sense. Okay, we said we were going for the bouncer, but I got 500 coins. We're going for more money first. Money before everything. We got EMP apparently. We have a little blue pulse going on there. And I think it hits everything. Just looking at their life. Yeah, we have like a little white slash thing that's appearing now. Every single time there's that blue pulse. That should get us a little further in. Yeah. I don't know how long this is actually going to take. I'm guessing probably, judging by our power acceleration, I'm guessing this is going to take about 30 minutes. Maybe 40 or 50 if you count the between screen stuff where I'm selecting what the hell I want to equip. But as it stands, that EMP is softening them up enough that our swords haven't even procced yet. I do like this style, and there was a blob game recently. Well, I say recently, within, I want to say the past, I want to say year or two, that had a similar aesthetic to this. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's either by the same person. I didn't double check that. I didn't go look at their game catalog. I just got this pointed out to me, and I was like, ooh, I will check it out. And yeah, I didn't check out their back game catalog. This might be the same person. It has a similar aesthetic, although those were more gumdrop shaped slimes. So EMP is, yeah, damages all enemies on screen. Do we want that first? I think we do. And then we'll do bouncer. Any kind of like really good AoE seems like a top pick for something like this, because the enemies are not shooting back at us. They are just existing, which results in us not having to deal with them if we have good AoEs. So any kind of explosive, any kind of AoE boost, any kind of fast firing boost or piercing seems like it would be advantageous to this. Now, if they were firing back, then we'd actually have to consider what we're using. And I would not be surprised if there is game past 5 hours. I mean, not 5 hours. 5 minutes. I should probably be... I wish there was a speed up button as well. But I don't know if there is. It might be one of the bonuses we can get I should probably read through them, especially once we start getting a bit more money, because I think some of those upgrades were like 750, so we might be getting close on this one. And yeah, extra money makes it so we can do so much more. Okay, now we're actually having to target stuff because they getting more durable. One thing that I would recommend, if they do actually ever release a patch for this was over on itch, so I won't know if they release a patch unless I go back to itch and check it out, but one thing that can help out a little bit is as the waves get tougher, change their base color. I get that you have them red whenever they're close, which is fine. That is a whole thing. But have them change colors based on the difficulty wave that you're on. Okay, so we have 737. Gain additional 100 coins every minute mark. That would be kind of handy. And then we have impatient starts, does not trigger minute mark passive, does not trigger minute passive. So we wouldn't get the extra 100 if we take those. So those are going to be for whenever we're pushing to victory. So extra 100 coins every minute. I mean, we're only making it to a minute, but that's automatically going to pay for itself in what? 5 or 6 runs, which is not that bad. Let's go and get a fire rate and a speed. We're going to focus in on this and EMP for the most part. We'll see what they actually end up giving us. But right now, EMP, I think, is killing them before they get maybe a hop on screen, and then EMP is just like, no, bitch. Pardon my French there, but get on up out here is what our EMP is doing. But I don't think we're going to have to actually move the mouse for the first minute at this rate. We are starting to get that bubble wrap effect where you have the bloop bloop every now and then. Hopefully I remember where the cut for editing the audio is. It's not going to be that hard to do, but it means I got to edit this a bit more. I try not to do much editing on these, by the way. And on this channel. On the main channel, I do edit quite a bit. I usually do a ton of takes and then choose the best ones, which are not always perfect, but hey, they're the best by my standards. And I am trying to improve every single day. But as far as edits on this channel, I try not to do it too much unless it's just a quality of life thing for you guys, because I want this to really be a channel that reflects my real-time feedback and opinions of the game, because you know what? Playing through a game, your opinion can change even over the course of an hour. I've had that happen before, where I was like, oh, this is balls, and then I get a further hour in, and then I run into the thing that they were designing it for, and oh, that makes sense kind of situation. How many runs have we done? 15. We're good. So crit for double damage or explosive. Still can't get that one. Or we could just do upgrades. We might want to just do upgrades. We have enough for one of each of those. Nothing on bouncer can be done. We're focusing on those two. I'm probably not going to be looking too much at the other trees, but hey, we're getting extra money each time, so we'll focus in on those for a little bit, see if it starts getting us any further. Not going to take the minute skips, and not going to be happy about getting calls in the middle of recording. So, uno momento. People calling randomly. It's a scam call. That's the only calls I get. Everybody I know knows to text me. Or message me directly on a given platform. Hate phone calls. Do you guys like phone calls? There are people who do. There's people who like talking on the phone. I personally find it kind of a little bit disruptive, because it's kind of the middle ground of text where I can just take it literally at what's said, and interacting in person where you can actually see body language to understand what is intended. It's just like, do I take you literally or do I take you not literally? Do I kleptomaniac your intention? There we go. Kleptomaniacs, they take everything literally. Da 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 da. Yeah, it's an old dumb joke, but it functions. And we do still have that sword. I keep forgetting it's there. Mainly because by the time the sword comes out, we're already just taking way too much damage, and we're getting money. Oh, we got 143. We're making it further in. Okie dokie. Passive-wise, we could get the crit thing. That would be very tempting. 5% chance of extra damage. I do think we continue getting the EMP going first, though. Do we have any other upgrades? I mean, we could upgrade the swords. That doesn't seem good. Because by the time they're there, they're already just eating us alive. So, time for another minute of goodness and graciousness. And yes, I do have the overall audio set at a reasonable level, so I don't have to, like, pump it up or turn it down for this. It's just that first little part, I forgot I had it set for recording PlayStation games, which that comes through at full volume. There's a few PlayStation games that actually do have, like, volume sliders, but that was a quality of life thing that didn't really become more common until a bit later outside of, and even in PC, it wasn't always that common because usually it was just audio on or off through the PC speaker in the early days. But generally speaking, it did not become a thing to have proper audio sliders until I want to say the early 2000s. I mean, we had them on like Diablo 2. And there were games that are the exception to this. There have always been a few games that did try to do this, but it wasn't like a standard feature for a long time. It was usually just sound effects on and off and music on and off. If that. I still remember a few games where I would be tempted to cover them, but they don't have the option to turn it all off. SSX Tricky actually has the option, speaking of games that I want to cover but don't because of copyright. But SSX Tricky has access to, you can turn off the music and sound effects, but unfortunately the thing I'm worried about copyright on is on the sound effects layer. So I can't have my snowboarding sounds, which makes it really hard to kind of set things up. Oh, we are overwhelmed there. So minute 47, we start get swarmed hard. 1200. You know what? I am going to go ahead and take the explosive. And then we'll get some upgrades. Get that damage up. So for the most part, our first minute and a half or so is going to not require even any interaction on my part, which is a good thing. I'm not going to hate on it, but it is definitely repetitive. If this game was a longer game where I actually had to spend an hour and a half building up to the point where I could probably beat the targeted goal, I would be more concerned about that. But from the rate we're going, it doesn't feel like it's going to take nearly that long, which makes it tolerable that we're redoing these first parts. I kind of wish the little skip thing that it had in there didn't cause it to eat the 100 gold, because that would make it a little bit more reasonable for me to just buy that and just be like, okay, we're going for the higher difficulty. Yeah, we'd be giving up on probably about 400 gold for the actual kills and then another 100 for hitting the minute mark. So about 500 gold for the first one, and then we'd probably have, I'm guessing it's probably going to be another 1,000 for the second minute. At least judging by how fast it's escalating. Currently have max EMP, so that's nice. It looks like we're doing okay. We are pretty much hitting that 1,000 mark without even having to move our mouse. Almost 1,000. I did have to move the mouse there. Unfortunately, the bouncy ball is requiring a little bit of luck to actually hit things. We're going to need more of them. We're needing them to be faster. We need them to hit more frequently. Okay, so we're gaining seconds every single time. We have 1341. Let's go ahead. Oh, we need 2,000 for that. Let's go ahead and upgrade the bouncer then. Let's go for damage, duration, fire rate, and speed, and a little bit more damage. Just amp it up a little bit. See if that ever turns into something good. Although the enemies are dropping more money now. I saw, what, there's a 10, and we had a 12 just a minute ago. Well, a second ago. Because we are literally advancing by seconds. And it looks like, yeah, we're currently at about 4 balls on screen for the bouncers, and we're not even like halfway upgraded. So that definitely falls in the category of this is a screen item. Does it go away when it hits something is the question. Or do they pierce? Looks like they might disappear. No, they pierce. We saw 2 over here on the right that got pierced through by it. Yeah, they survive even hitting enemies. So that's going to help out quite a bit, because we'll be able to get a whole bunch of them on as a screen effect. Which, yes, I am not a huge person on randomized shooting stuff in games like this, in any kind of tower defense, really, where it's just either randomized damage or randomized area. But it can serve a purpose if you're able to get them up to a saturation amount, where it can actually just block all incoming threats with extreme violence. Because as you can see, whenever they all get kind of concentrated on one side, nothing is getting past their little bouncy wall. And once they get up to a long duration, they're going to get kind of scary, I would wager. Yeah, we're starting to see them get into our green zone. See, this is the type of game you should make if you're trying to learn how to make games, by the way. It doesn't need to be something extremely complicated. It's just you need to be able to command entities to move. You need to register hits. This is that. You need a persistent storage of what you're doing in the game. That's also good. Okay, so duration, fire rate. We have 500 left. I guess we could start upgrading some of these other ones towards max. I think out of these, we want to go probably multi-shot is the next big one, because I do love my AoEs. So let's go ahead and get some projectiles. And yeah, we'll just go more projectiles. Make the shotgun more shotgun. And it almost feels like the EMP is gaining damage from something other than just its stats. Wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not positive on that. I am hoping my estimate for this game is correct, because otherwise I'm going to have to record this in 2 parts. Because unfortunately there's going to be noises other than just a random phone going off in probably the near future. Are we going to skip ahead to the full-blown just rushing the minutes? I don't know yet. We probably will whenever we're pushing for that 5-minute mark. And I think we're getting close to the point where we could try to get to the, like, 3 or 4. We're definitely getting close to 2. If we can push hard to 3 or 4, then I would have confidence in just skipping ahead to the 5 and just being like, go for it. Make it happen. But right now, we're not able to make it through the mid waves yet. We don't have the damage output for it. It's probably because I'm not doing my fireball thing, but that's besides the point. We could also just force end a run if we wanted to just spend money right away. That's probably, I hate to say it, that's probably the optimal strategy. End run, kill off just a couple waves, put it on the speed mode where you're just jumping ahead a minute or so, and get a bunch of kills, get up to the amount you need to buy your next target upgrade, and then end run and go for it that way. That way you're not wasting time, I guess. But at the same time, that's money you could have gotten without having to relaunch a fight. And yeah, we're about to get overwhelmed, which is fine. That happens every single time. Don't you ever get overwhelmed? We also damage them whenever they attack us, so we're gonna survive a little bit just by the fact that, hey, they're almost dead whenever they get to us. Okay, there we go. We got 1800. We got 2 minutes in the run now. Got runes. Oh, this is not garlic. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's the blue orbs that follow you in frickin'... Oh, we have Pierce. Yes, please. But it's... I'm guessing it's going to be the thing that circles around you like in Vampire Survivors. So, you know what? Sure, we'll go for this a little bit. That seems like a better one than the shotgun, at least, to have our dump points into. And yep, it is. I don't know if they have like a cool, well, judging by the fact that there was a hit timer, I'm guessing they do have a cooldown, so they won't just hit a whole bunch of different things or over target one particular enemy. But yeah, AoE all the way is pretty much where I think we want to be. Now, if there were bosses or something, and I'm not sure there aren't, all I saw in the preview of the person who I saw play this, all I saw in that preview for it was up to about the 2-minute mark before I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. I don't want to spoil myself, but it doesn't seem like there's gonna be bosses. A boss at every minute mark would not be a bad idea though. And that would let you kind of go for, do I focus on single target damage abilities or do I focus in on the multi-target abilities? Because generally speaking, that's the balance that some roguelites have, is you will be going through, and especially ones where you're intended to die a lot, you'll be going through and you'll be picking up multi-target things to deal with the trash mobs at first just so you can get through them, but then you come across your first boss and realize, oh crap, I have to have something single target, otherwise they're going to be chasing me around for 4 hours. So that is a thing that is a consideration. I don't know if they'll do it for this. This seems more like a kind of, I am working on making simple small games, or I am learning how to make games kind of title, which is 100% valid. Make them. Let people give you critiques on your early games. Let your games be a learning experience both for you and for your players, I guess, to an extent. There is a typing game kind of like this as well. I ended up not liking it very much. I can't remember why. I think it was because it was kind of hard to read the letters on it, which made it really hard to type out the letters, and they were never like a proper word, which kind of never feels great for me. Okay, so we got 2,000. Bloop. Mortar unlocked. Oh, fully upgraded entire weapon to get mortars. So now we have bombs. I'm going to go, we have one shot, small chance to instantly defeat enemies, or frostbite. Small chance to cause frostbite, dealing damage over time. We're going to do frostbite starting out. Simply because, while there's a small chance of insta-kills, it's not the enemies getting to us in individual rates. If it was like a single strong enemy coming towards us, insta-kills would be great. But they're getting to us with like just enough life to hit us. So I figure DPS over time would probably work out a little bit better for that. That's my logic, at least. And our balls are staying bouncing for a while. We're up to, I think, 5 on screen at once. It's hard for me to track them all. So I kind of am curious what the final upgrade for the bouncy balls is. What do you guys do at full upgrades? Oh, and those booms are going pretty far out. I thought they'd only be in our green radius, but I'm seeing them. If we can, I'll try and get a mouse over one of them to kind of indicate where it is, because it's kind of mixing in with all the other projectiles. There it is. Just went up to the northwest just then. But 1 minute in, absolutely nothing getting close to us yet. And obviously getting more tower things is fine. And I'm taking a drink of water. Oh, we defeated 2,000 enemies, so now we get defense. And yeah, okay, so we have a shield now. We are a snow globe. Dun 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 dun. Are we gonna get to 2 minutes without even being hit? Thanks to Ultimate EMP. The electromagnetic pulse. We are basically a tiny little nuke tower. Now, for it being the last tower, this last tower sure gets rebuilt a lot. Still not doing a lot of problems. Oh, okay, so now we're about to start needing to actually aim at things. We'll probably get to about 2,000 gold before we really have to consider what kind of threats are coming in. Okay, damage over time, pretty effective. Finally having to defend ourselves. We haven't gotten hit yet, because our shield is still up. That or the shield has HP, I'm not sure which. But oh, wow. Yeah, that was we've made a pretty big improvement. We're about to hit 2.5 minutes. I don't know what our time on the last one was. But, do we get 2.5? We get 2.5. So, we have made progress. and a decent amount of resources. So I'm going to go for crits. That should, yeah, round off all the abilities we want from there for now. We've got that one. Do I? I don't have enough to really push it, but I can get 2 of them. So speed and duration are up. Fire rate is going to be, yeah, next run we'll be able to get fire rate and damage unless we just do something completely stupid. So I think runes are our next ones. Let's go ahead and just go for, let's go for speed. I want them to spin. I want to spin me right round, baby, right round. Like a record, baby. Right around. I gotta say it a little bit off tempo, unfortunately. Otherwise, it gets a copyright claim. Although, it probably wouldn't. I don't know how... I mean, yes... As far as YouTube copyright goes, yes, they will claim on lyrics sometimes, but it's usually for, like, if you do a good chunk of the song lyrics, as opposed to just a reference randomly. As far as the actual music part of it, I don't have the music for that in the background. And I do not sing well enough for that to be an issue. So the chance of me getting a claim on that, pretty damn slim. That's one reason why I'm not afraid of it. There are examples of like streamers and stuff like that who have sang decent chunks of the song or gotten their voice close enough to the actual part of the song that they have gotten claims. And I always find that so weird and funny. It's not funny whenever you get demonetized for it, or like I say demonetized, whenever your video gets demonetized for it. That's not so funny, but it's there. And as far as copyright claims on this channel, if they're valid, I usually let them through. That's kind of my rule since I am doing like near unedited video content, because it is just an overall, this is my experience with it as a sort of receipt for the reviews and stuff. Do I review everything I cover on here? God, no. Do I need to review more of what I do on here? Yeah. That's one of those things. I will be doing probably some of the more expected stuff like Titan Quest 2 and stuff like that in the very near future, but not right this second. It looks like, oh, we may not even actually, we do have to do a little bit. They're trying to get close. When they turn red, they're about to attack the actual tower. So we're going to get to 230 pretty easily? Probably not. Probably going to get to 230, but it's not going to be much further than before. Maybe. Oh, no, we just lost our shield. Do we get to 230? I don't think we're going to make much of a gain on this run. Because mostly what we got was the orbiting. And yeah, that's going to kill a little bit more, so we're going to get to like 237 or something like that. But, yeah, we'll get to 240. A little bit further than I thought we would. I don't know what the upgrades on the shield are going to be like. And that one, oh, we're about to get that other unlock as well. Shield recharge, regeneration. I'm guessing regeneration is some kind of health recovery. So, we'll upgrade you. Keeps 3 bouncers on screen at all time, or slows enemies on hit. I think slow is going to fit our build better. Let's go with that. Now we have 5 projectiles. Enemies are slowed. We get randomized money from them between, I think, from what I've been seeing, 5 and 12. Well, 6 and 12. Because we get the +1 from the 500 gold upgrade. But once we hit the 3-minute mark, we might be able to start pushing. So I might grab the minute skips. Because now we're getting enough money where that extra 100 we're missing out on is not going to be a big issue. Especially since all the things are costing way more than 100. And frankly, the first minute, I don't even really have to look at the screen. I can just talk about whatever and do whatever. The second minute, we start to get seeing things that actually last on screen, so I have to be like, oh, is one getting close? Yeah, it's not really. And then as we get close to that 3rd minute, that's when we die. We're at 240 something. But I do think the extra orbiter and the fact that the balls are slowing enemies on screen We actually have a solid number of them being screeners the entire time is going to help out quite a bit. Because you can see whenever they turn the dark blue, that is the bouncers actually getting them and serving to screen them so they don't get too close. And generally speaking, if they get about halfway to my tower, they're pretty much guaranteed to have gotten hit by that. Which works well for me, especially since we have damage over time from our EMP. For some reason, I felt like saying it's dynamite after that, but no, that's TNT. EMP is electromagnetic pulse. It's one of the less appreciated things from nuclear explosions, by the way. They do admit, if I remember correctly, they have an EMP. I could be misremembering. And that's one reason why you need, like, hardened electronics whenever you are going into certain situations. Of course, you can also just generate an electromagnetic pulse in general. Am I misremembering? Isn't there an EMP effect from actual nuclear devices? Electromagnetic effect. I keep calling it an EMP effect. That causes issues. Okay, so we've gotten to 230 without losing our shield. We're about to lose it right there. But between the enemies being... Oh, our shield is already back up. Nice. Yeah, as long as we can get, like, waves of enemies not there in our face, we're good. We are taking damage. We're probably gonna hit the 3-minute mark. If I had to take a wild guess. It's going to probably be, yeah, just after 3 that we die. But our extra little bit of damage is pretty solid. 310? 310. Oh, we got beam. It's another AoE. Fire rate duration. Sends a beam that slows enemies. Doesn't apparently do damage yet. Is mildly disconcerting. I think our next upgrade might be the mortar, honestly. Although we could still do these. These are relatively cheap. That would not be a bad upgrade to get. I think we go for... This only has 7 upgrades, though. You know what? I'm going to go for the multi-shot first. Let's go... Do we go back shot? Tee-hee. Shoots the same number of projectiles in the opposite direction, or shoots much quicker. We're going to do back shot. Because it's going to be shooting, what? 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 things to the rear, which seems fine. And next up, we'll do the Seeker to get that one. Yeah, this is just like ultimate upgrade things. And yeah, I'm thinking backshot might be the right choice. Considering how many bullets come out of that, that is more than half the screen covered. Just by plu-plu. Oh, goodness gracious. And I was just checking a DM that I just got. I will look at that after. Because that looks interesting. But, yeah, for me, games like this are just a moment to relax. Are those doing damage? I can't tell. It doesn't seem like the beam is. It seems like it's just slowing it, because they're getting about as close as they were before, but I don't think we're going to get a good idea on that until after we get more enemies on screen at once. Just to kind of... There was our first 100. I keep forgetting that we actually do get 100 for each minute we make. And we've unlocked everything, so it's starting to get that point where we should probably be pushing towards that 5 minutes. Just getting our attacks up to the point where we don't have to worry about too many things. And we already have Pierce, so things go through a target. So our shotgun is extra effective at the moment. For it shooting at the entire bloody screen almost. Admittedly, there are still gaps between them, but that's not a problem. It's going to be so many enemies at once that it will be hitting plenty on every single shot. Are we ever going to have to use our mouse one again? Ideally, no. I am a big fan of garlic runs. So, where I don't actually have to do anything except for, you know, move towards my objective. And in this case, we're a stationary tower. We can't move towards shit. So it makes life a little bit easier. I'm having a hard time predicting where the laser's going to come out at. So I can actually see if it does damage. Doesn't seem like it does. Yeah, it's not feeling it. We're definitely taking advantage of that slow, though. More slow, more better, I guess. Oh, there was an enemy that almost got to attack. Are we gonna? Yeah, we might make it an easy 3 minutes this time. Which means that we should probably start pushing towards the end. Especially now that we got another ultimate. We're gonna get probably ultimate of the little purple balls next. Just because. That seems semi-reasonable. Yeah, we're taking damage now. So we got past the 3 minutes. We might not actually make a time gain. Although our shield is back up now. So 5,000, can we get? Yeah, we got 5,000. We are good. We're going to be able to do full upgrades now on another one. So we want Seeker all the way up. Pierces through all targets or explode on impact. Explode on impact. AoE all the way. So I think our next one is going to be... I think we're going to go runes. I don't know what the hit timer does. But we're trying for it. And I think probably after this run, I'll start cutting off minutes. Just so we can get to those late stages and get more money faster. Because there's more guys on there. So cutting out this initial area where there's just like 5 guys every 5 seconds seems like a good idea. Even though that's going to cut our revenue down a little bit, it's just going to make the runs shorter. Especially since we've already been going for 47 minutes. My estimate was wrong! It's fine. And sorry for that being so loud. Excuse me. That was... I didn't realize it was that loud until I heard my water bottle vibrating from the sound of my voice. Which is always an odd noise. It's a metal water bottle. Reusable, I fill it up from a pitcher. But if I get loud enough, I can hit a frequency on it where you can kind of hear the metal kind of a little bit like a bit of a bell. It's also why sometimes if I go to take a drink of it, you'll hear a bloop with a weird noise at the end of it. It's because it is basically a air bubble has formed into it as I'm tipping it, and it catches the water and then it splashes down onto the metal. Fun times. And I have all the fond memories. Now, back in the day, this generally would have been a Flash game. For those of you who are interested in... I say back in the day like it was that long ago. We're talking early 2000s. We're not talking that long ago. Maybe, possibly in the mid-90s with some sites. There were kind of little games like this, but it didn't come real popular until the late 90s, early 2000s. With, like, the explosion of Flash and stuff like that. It's always a shame that there's so much of gaming history kind of lost in that regard. Yeah, there's sites that still host a lot of the Flash games, but there's also a lot of the Flash games that have shut down. Some of them, the only archives of it are YouTube videos that either the creator or somebody who has archived the website has been able to record. There's, like, no play method of playing them in some cases. And, frankly... you need a wrapper to do a lot of Flash stuff online these days, because browsers don't support it anymore. Some browsers, at least. And it just becomes one of those things that's kind of sad to see, but it's one of those things that also, it's true of pretty much all media. People don't appreciate it as much, or there's lack of technology to carry it forward. That results in a loss of a lot of music, a lot of books, a lot of stories, a lot of movies are damn near impossible to find again from the early days. And we are starting to reach maturity for video games where that's not going to be as much of an issue, provided that we have either legislation or tools in place to do it. It's still going to be an issue. It's an issue with modern-ish music as well, and movies. There's an issue of some movies not actually having access to... I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. But basically, well, it's more music videos, where we were just at that cusp between the film and digital age. And it ended up in a situation where we weren't able to fully get the full fidelity and save that, because it was in that weird transition period. We got to 4 minutes. I think we might want to cut off a minute. Starts an additional minute, does not trigger passives, so we're gonna do that. We got you. I think you're next. Signs in and out towards the base, increases the amount of projectiles created. We're gonna go for sign. Ooh, they wobbly. It's a sine wave, for those of you that are wondering. So now we start a minute in, so the runs are gonna be a little bit shorter. It's not going to be that big of an issue. We're probably going to take the other minute jump as well, although I'm not entirely certain we're going to need it. We might hit the 5 minutes on this. Especially with those wobbling in and out, that means that we have more area of effect for them rather than just their standard one. Although that is kind of like hypnotizing in a weird way, kind of watching them go in and out. I have to, for my eyes not to go cross-eyed, I have to go look at it on OBS rather than on my main screen, because main screen eats up a good, like, I want to say half of my, maybe, probably not half, closer to probably a third of my visual space whenever I'm looking straight at it, due to distance and all that fun jazz. But we should still hit 7,000 monies on this one, even if we don't make it to 5 minutes. We're almost there, and I would wager there is past 5 minutes. So once we hit the 5 minute mark, I will do a run past 5 minutes just to see how long we can go, which is probably gonna be like 5 minutes and 5 seconds. But I think I do like the enemies exploding from the purple ones, because you're seeing the rings where they get nuked by it. I think that might actually do damage over time. Yeah, it does. It does a little bit of damage over time. It's nice. Watch us make it to 5 minutes on this one and have to decide what we want to do our upgrades to see how far we can push. But now it's really doing that bubble wrap, and I love it. This is the point where you know in an incremental or even some tower defense games are good about this kind of like popcorn bubble wrap effect. This is that point where it's just kind of satisfying. I'm not huge on ASMR. This is about as close as I get. I personally find a lot of ASMR extremely uncomfortable. One reason why I don't do it. I know that there's some people who say that my voice is relaxing and ASMR in its own way, but it's not. At least not from what I understand ASMR to actually be. It's good. I'm glad you find it relaxing. I'm glad you can fall asleep to it. And I'm glad that you guys like chatting in it. But it is an issue of, for me, I'm whispering into a microphone makes my skin fucking crawl. It is a visceral response from me. For me, the closest to ASMR that I'm willing to go is story time kind of things, or bubble wrap. It needs to be actual distinct sounds, proper. I don't think we're making it to 5 minutes. Things are getting a little close to us. Although we do have a decent number of upgrades. We could start using our aimed stuff once in a while. I have, like, been paying almost zero attention to it, other than sometimes I'll just, like, wave it over a group of enemies that are making me uncomfortable. Oh, 423, 425. Do we make it? No, I don't think so. I think we get overwhelmed at about 445. Because things are going to escalate pretty hard. I'm wagering as we get right up into this 5-minute mark. It's gonna be close. I think we die at 450. Yeah, we're not quite there. We're 7 seconds away. Well, obviously, that we need to start a minute later. Got you, we got you, we've got you, you, and you. Oh, 7,000. Do we want to mess with the mouse? I really don't want to aim. Swords don't seem that great. We'll do mortars. Only need one upgrade there. I don't think we're going to actually reach a point where that's a thing. But maybe whenever we push the 5 minutes, we'll be able to take that upgrade. Or I could end run once we get, what was it? Like 3,000, 4,000? I wasn't paying attention to the number. I could just end the run there and go for it. So I'm not sure that's going to be necessary. We're already decimating these early waves a lot more than I thought we would. Although we are going to probably hit that money before the 5-minute mark. But yeah, we'll get the bombs upgraded for the last wave on this. Which will be us pushing past 5 minutes. And then we will probably call it after that. But yeah, this is... It's name your price on itch.io. So you can definitely just go there and be like, I like this idea, I'll give you $1. Or you can download it for free. But if you like it, definitely go give them a little bit of extra money. Tip the person who made the game. This is the kind of game that I would like to see, like... There needs to be a publisher that just does dollar games. And has that as their marketing thing. This would be the kind of game for that. Where people can just pick up a game, pay $1 for an afternoon's worth of fun, or even just like a lunch break's worth of fun, and go through it. It's not a huge upfront investment, and it's not a huge, I need to invest 3 months of my life to beat this game kind of experience. There is a place for games like this. And I much prefer this over mobile games with a million freaking microtransactions. Make buying the game itself a microtransaction. This type of game you could probably kick out relatively easily to make your money back. Especially if you're an experienced dev. And there are tons of simple game ideas that can fill that. You can have... Platformers would take more time than this. But even still, you could do some of those for relatively cheap. Just make it a short game like... I'm trying to remember the name of the game. I did a first impressions of it years ago. And the first impressions was literally me going through and beating the game in under an hour. And it was a really good little Metroidvania. I had GBA graphics. I could probably look it up and throw it in the description. If I forget to, and you actually want to know which one I'm thinking of, comment below and I'll look it up. Because I still have it archived on the main channel, but it's unlisted because it was back whenever I was doing long format videos with like minimal editing long format videos on the main channel. And then I switched to long format, heavily edited and scripted videos. And did we make it? I think we definitely made it, yeah. Congratulations, and thank you for playing. Press any key to continue playing. Game will now proceed past 5 minutes. See how high you can get. Okay. So we can go past 5 minutes, so we're definitely picking up you. We're gonna go projectiles outward. What do we do with our other 4 grand? Are there any other upgrades in these? No, not really. It's pretty much just mouse, swords, beam, and defense now. Let's go for... You know what? Let's go shield. Why not? Let's see how long this can go. I don't know how much it's going to escalate. I have a feeling if we get a ton of AoEs working for us, it could get kind of scary and possibly... I think once you get to a certain point, it is going to come down to your mouse aiming in the enemy spawn locations. Because at a certain point, all of the units, like the tower defense things you actually have going on with your tower, they're going to hit a saturation that everyone else is going to already have hit that saturation with as well. So I'm wagering high score, going to fall down to mouse movements, and then it's probably going to be a thing of, did you A, get lucky spawns so your mouse can hit a whole bunch of things all at once, and B, did the enemies spawn in a way that are conducive to you getting further? It's going to be very much on that. I don't think you're going... And also, can you actually choose a group wisely to target? Because personally, I am not very wise, so I'm not going to probably hit all the targets I should be. Instead, I'm just going to wave my mouse around like a madman. And just hope for the best. So we're going to make it to like 510 or something like that. I could see with like fully upgraded tower probably getting to like 6 minutes unless they just don't escalate the spawn any further. Because there isn't a hard way to kind of maze or block enemies. Eventually, you're going to get overwhelmed by the amount of life they have. Because you're just not going to have the DPS to handle it. Now, what would crack me up is if after 5 minutes, they just turn into boss slimes or something. Metal slimes! Yeah, it looks like... And there's also, of course, you can choose different maximum evolutions and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't see that being a thing. Watch us make it less time this time. That would be hilarious. Don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, for just like sit down for an hour, enjoy yourself kind of thing. This is the kind of game that I could definitely see being in some kind of either publisher that publishes just cheap games that people can pick up for a little bit. Pretty even split between the developer and the publisher. So it'd be like 30 Valve, 30 publisher, and then 40 to do the dev on Steam out of the $1. I could see that being a pretty reasonable thing. And then, of course, you have taxes on top of all that, but with how much time it would take to really make more games like this, once you have the basics of the engine down, I could absolutely see that being an endeavor that would be worthwhile. And I kind of wish we saw more of that, especially with the massive influx of games. Obviously, I would rather it be a publisher that avoids games that use generative AI. That would definitely be a thing to remember. Are we making it to 6 minutes? We're not making it to 6 minutes. No, we're not making it to 6 minutes. We're making it to 5.5. But... oh, wow. Regeneration is actually pretty good. But yeah, I can see that being kind of an interesting thing to pursue as far as development, stuff like that. But, of course, promoting stuff would be a pain in the ass. And you'd want to do a lot of bundles as the publisher. Would I really do it as a single developer? Not really. I mean, it's possible. It is distinctly a thing that you could do. But at the same time, I'm not entirely sure whether that would really be ideal. Well, there's an extra life. And here, we'll do more area on that. Yeah, it's fun. It's enjoyable. And I do wish there was a start at 5 minutes button. As far as passives, like if you get to 5 minutes, let us do a start at 5 minutes passive, so we just start there and see how far we can push it. Of course, that would also mean you're getting way less money, so we'll see. We'd have to look on that one. But yeah, keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath, and I'm going to probably max out everything over the next 10-15 minutes. and call it a day in this game. So see you guys next time.